Hi everyone and welcome to chapter 6 problem recording. So we are going to solve the problems that have been mentioned here. So let's start. So the first problem, a US Treasury bond pays 7% coupon on 7th Jan and 7th July. So it almost pays coupon every 6 months. How much interest occurs per $100 of principal to the bondholder between 7th July and August 8th? How would your answer be different if it was a corporate bond? So I like open the Excel sheet for problem 6 that we discussed so that it is little bit more clear. Okay, so this was the Excel sheet that we discussed in the recording. So what does it say? If it is a treasury bond, that is a government bond, then we use actual by actual to calculate interest. And if it is a corporate bond, we consider 30 days per month plus extra days divided by 360. So let's do that. So assume that it's a treasury bond. How would you do that? So I'll open a new Excel sheet. So we have to note down the dates. Sorry, Excel sheet. So we now have to note down the dates. So dates given are July 7th, 2017 to August 8, 2017. So that is the numerator. Numerator always is the interest period divided by total coupon period. So I'll write it down. So the formula is interest period divided by coupon period, okay, into interest rate, into rate multiplied by face value. So this is the formula: interest period divided by coupon period into rate into face value. So let's find out what is the interest period. So the dates are 7th July 27th 7th July 2017 was the first date. The second date was August 8, 2017. So 8th August 2017. July 2017. Okay, and 8th August 2017. This was the numerator, interest period divided by total period. So what is total period? 7th. So when does it pay? 7th Jan to 7th July. 7th Jan to 7th July. Okay, this is the coupon period. So the total period is going to be July to January. So 7th July 2017 to 7th Jan 2018. Okay, so if you calculate number of days between these two dates, end date comma start date, 33 days between these two dates, and days again end date comma start date, 184 days. Okay, so if you want to calculate interest, it will be used for a treasury bond. It is actual divided by actual. That's the term that we are going to use. So it will be actual days, 33 days, divided by 184 times what was the interest rate? 7%. So it is 7% semi-annual. So divide by 2 and multiplied by face value $100. So the interest that you get is somewhere around $62. The interest that you get is somewhere around $62. Okay. Now if it is a corporate bond, what would happen? So if it is a corporate bond, 1 month has passed between these two dates. Okay. So from July 7th to August 7th. So what do we do in corporate bonds case? Corporate bonds case, we take 30 days per month plus whatever extra days are given, right? And then divided by 360. So in that case, the formula will be where is the Excel file? The formula will be, if it is a corporate bond, $30 days from July 7th to August 7th plus 1 extra day for August 8th. So it will be 31 days divided by, it is paying coupons every 6 months, so 180 days, right? This is the number of days. So every month to month, we take 30 days and whatever extra days are given. So July 7th to August 8th, that is given, July 7th to August 8th, we are going to take 30 days plus 1 extra day for August 8th and multiply this by 7% divided by 2 into 100. So 0.6027, and this should be 8th August, not 7th August. So it should be, the date is 8th August, not 9th August. So 7th July to 8th August, 32 days, total days 184. So if it was a treasury bond, it will pay an interest of 0.6087. If it is a corporate bond, it will pay an interest of 6027. So always remember which bond is given, use this formula. So interest period divided by coupon period into rate into face value. How to calculate number of days? Note down the number of days for interest period. It is 7th July to August 8th. That was given to you, right? And that is 32 days. I use the formula days, right? And then the overall period. So July 7th, the coupon is going to be paid. The next coupon is going to be paid on January 7th. So July 7th to January 7th is the overall period. So 184 days. So we used actual by actual, and for corporate we used 30 days rule plus extra days divided by 360. 360 not in this case because it's a semi-annual coupon. So 180 into 7 divided by 2 into 100. Okay, this was the first problem. Second, an euro dollar future changes from 96.76 to 96.82. What is the gain or loss to a trader who is long on 2 contract? So how do we calculate that? So we know for a euro dollar future there is $25 gain for every gain or loss depending on which positions you are taking, for every 0.01 movement in price. So how do you calculate profit or loss? Profit slash loss equals $25 into 100 because it's basis point 0.01 into difference between the prices. So difference between the prices is 96.76, it went to 96.82. So 96.82 minus 96.76. So your profit, the total profit is going to be $150. Okay, but you have 2 contracts, so $150 profit per contract, and you have 2 contracts, so this multiplied by 2. Next, in January 30, you are managing a bond portfolio worth $6 million. The duration of the portfolio is for 6 months is 8.2 years. The September's treasury futures are traded for 108/15 and the cheapest to delivery bond has a duration of 7.6 years in September. How should you hedge against the interest rate? So you're managing a portfolio, right? And how would you hedge? So whenever you have portfolio, you're worried about interest rates going down. So you want to hedge your risk of interest rates going down. So how would you do that? You will short contracts. You will short bond futures. So how do you do that though? So number of contracts to be short, contracts to be short is given by formula size of position into duration of position divided by size of future into duration of future. So do we know P? P we know. P is 6 million. Okay. P is 6 million. Do we know DP, duration of portfolio? We know duration of portfolio, it is 8.2 years. Okay. Do we know future position size? So do we know that? So future position size, future price is given as 108/15. So we know that means that 15 has to be is represented as 32 chunks. So the formula to convert it into price is 108 plus whatever dash amount is given, 15 divided by 32. And which kind of future it is? It's a treasury bond future. So treasury bond futures generally trade in contract size of thousands. So this multiplied by 1000 is the future position. This multiplied by 1000 is future position. Do we know duration of future? Do we know duration of future? Duration of future is given to you is 7.6. So how do you do that? Open bracket 6 million into duration of portfolio 8/2 divided by contract size of future into duration of future. So how many contracts you would short? Around 59.6, that is 60 contracts you would short to cover your risk. Okay, so key trick was this one, how to convert given future price into contract price. So if 108/15 is given, it is 108 plus 15/32, right? And then into 1000 to get the future contract size, then find out number of contracts. Okay. Next one, it is May 5th 2017. The quoted price for a government bond with a 12% coupon that matures on July 27, 2034 is 1010/17. What is the cash price? So how do you find cash price? So cash price is always quote of the bond plus accrued interest. Okay, quote of the bond plus accrued interest. So what is the quote of the bond? Quote of the bond is 110/17. So let's convert it to a normal quote instead of that fancy thing. 110 slash 17. So if you convert it in normal quotes, it will be 110 plus 17 divided by 32. So it is 110.5313. Okay. Now you need to find accrued interest. So it is May 5th, 2017, and the bond matures on July 27th. Okay. The bond matures on July 27th. So government bonds generally pay interest in the month of Jan and in the month of July. Jan and July are the months where government bonds pay interest. So it is May. So you have to find out accrued interest between Jan and May. So to be precise, 7th Jan is the date. Okay, 27th July is the date. So 27th Jan is the date when the bond pays coupon, and July 5th is the given date. So you have to find number of days between 27th Jan 2017 and 25th May 2017, and then find out accrued interest. So let's do that. So dates given are 27 Jan 2017, okay, and 5th May 2017. Okay, we need to find number of days between these two. Equals to days, end date this, start date this. So the number of days between these 2 days, it's 98. And what is the coupon date during this tenure? So it is 27th Jan 2017 to July. So the next coupon is going to be paid in July, 27th July 2017. So if you just drag it, 181. So what would be accrued interest? Accrued interest is always interest on the given period, given dates, divided by interest in the total date. So it will be 98 days divided by 181 into what is the interest rate of the bond? Interest rate of the bond is 12% divided by 2 because it's a semi-annual bond, multiplied by 100. So accrued interest is 3.2486. Now we know that cash price of a bond always equals quoted price plus accrued interest, which is nothing but quoted price is this plus accrued interest is this. So cash price of the bond is 113.7799. Okay. Next one. Suppose that treasury bond future price is 101/12. Which of the following 4 bonds is cheapest to deliver? So we are finding out which of the bond is cheapest to deliver. So I'll copy this. This was the exercise price. This is the exercise price. So let's convert that exercise price to normal quotes. 101 plus 12 by 32. So exercise price is 101,375. Now they have given you conversion factors and prices. So this is given to you. So first you should do is always convert this quoted price to normal price. How do you convert normal price? So if this will be 125 plus 5 by 32. This will be 142 plus 15 by 32. Next one, it will be 115 plus 31 by 32. So 125, 142 and 115. These are the price of relevant bonds and conversion factors are known. So what is cost of delivery? Cost of delivery. Cost of delivery is always the quoted price minus exercise price into conversion factor. Okay, so quoted price minus exercise price into conversion factor. So if we do it here, it will be quoted price minus conversion price, sorry, exercise price into conversion factor. So $2 for this bond. Next one is quoted price minus exercise price into conversion factor. Last one, quoted price minus exercise price into conversion factor. So which is the cheapest bond to deliver? Was there one more? No. Which is the cheapest bond to deliver? So in this case, this bond is cheapest to deliver. Okay. Whichever is the lowest, you will, sorry, not, this is not the lowest. This one was the lowest. 2.17 is the lowest. So that would be the cheapest to deliver bond. So always calculate cost of delivery. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So what are they saying? What are they saying? On August 1st, a portfolio manager has a bond portfolio worth $10 million. The duration of the portfolio in October will be 7.1. The December Treasury futures is currently 91.12, right? The cheapest to deliver bond has a duration of, how should the portfolio hedge his risk over the next 2 months? So how to do that? We use the formula, number of contracts used to hedge. Generally, when you have a portfolio, you go short on bonds. It's equal to size of portfolio into duration of portfolio divided by size of future contracts into duration of future contracts. So let's see what is given. Is P given? Position size, you have $10 million. Okay, so 10 million is the position size of, this is 1, so 1 more million. 10 million is the position size that you have. Is DP given? Duration of portfolio. Duration of portfolio is given to be 7.1. Okay. Is portfolio, Okay, next is future. Is futures contract value given? So they have given a quote 91-112. So first you need to convert it. So it is 91 plus 12 divided by 32. So 91.375, and since it is a treasury bond, you multiply it by 1000. The multiplier is 1000. So it is 91375. And do you know DF, discount value, or the duration of futures? Duration of futures is given to be 8.8. So you have everything. You need to find number of contracts N, which equals size of portfolio multiplied by duration of portfolio divided by size of futures into duration of futures. So you would effectively short 88 contracts to hedge your risk. That's it for the recording. Thank you.